All right, guys, here we're to talk about the trailer for the movie Pokemon Detective Pikachu.
Wow, guys. I don't know.
I heard talk about this, like,
Yeah.
you know, before they even started making it, and
Yep.
I'm not familiar with any of this. I don't know if Detective Pikachu was a Pokemon thing, or was this an offshoot series or whatever. So, to me, I was just like, well, that sounds dumb. Like, what the hell is that?
It's live action, I think?
And then I heard Ryan Reynolds was attached, and I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, I like a paycheck as much as the next guy. I imagine Ryan's the same way. I think Pokemon's got a lot of money. It's a franchise that counts.
Doesn't he have the Deadpool money now?
Well, I think he signed on for this quite some time ago. Regardless, you can never have too much money.
That's true.
But this one, I wasn't. Then I started seeing pictures from this movie, and I was like, I don't even know who this is directed towards. Is this a children's movie? Because these images look kind of creepy. And then I was hearing that, like, I'm like, oh, Ryan Reynolds is Pikachu. I'm like, okay, so he's the voice. That's even more interesting.
Pikachu doesn't talk though, right? Pikachu just says Pikachu.
Not in the traditional series, but this is Detective Pikachu, which I don't know if it's even related.
We're so far off in like the land of
out of my depths in the Pokemon world.
So based on my age, so like there's certain things that come out when you're old enough, like things that are out when you're like in that prime adolescent time. Those things are great. Don't talk bad about those things. Those things are awesome, right? Then there's like a dip after your adolescence when you're like too old for that shit.
Okay.
And things that come out during that time is like, no, that stuff's for babies. I don't like that stuff, Mom. What are you talking about? No, or whatever. And then that's that. And then you get older, and now you're just like, well, everything sucks. The world is shit. It's fine, or whatever, right?
Okay.
So Pokemon is in that pocket for me, where like I don't know anything about Pokemon. I didn't play any of the games. I played the card game slightly because someone else I knew did. And there's like a Tetris clone called Pokemon Puzzle League that I played a little bit of. But I only know things that I've absorbed through like other sources. My understanding is Pikachu just says Pika, and he has lightning powers.
Yes.
That's all I know.
So I was in that prime pocket for this game where I was in
Okay.
like 6th grade when Pokemon hit America. So like everyone was playing this game. I did not play it when it first came out though, because I was like, what the fuck is that? I was not a person that was into the like looking down on style game, walking around. Eventually got into it and I was like, okay, this is all right. I like leveling things up and that was fine.
I was into that style of game, but I was like, this is some watered down, crappy version of an RPG. I don't want this. I want Final Fantasy. Get out of my face. I was like very like shitty, about it.
So I have played both Final Fantasy and Pokemon, and I do think Pokemon had a lot more playability after the fact. But I like me some tactics. But regardless, this looks totally different than anything I am accustomed to. I have no familiarity with this whatsoever.
Since you have a nostalgia for it, are you ready for like a like gritty take on it, or like a weird like?
I'm always up for something that could be good.
Meta reboot thing.
It's mainly a curiosity thing where I'm like, I genuinely don't know what this is like. I'm curious to see if it says like rated PG-13 or PG, because that'll really say like where are they. Cause you're never gonna get an R-rated Pokemon.
I'm sure.
But a PG-13, I'd be like, oh, this is aimed towards adults.
Yeah,
and I think we'll see like based on grabbing Ryan Reynolds, are you looking for like a snarky, quick talking like kind of detective? Like what is? Because he's just a voice. He will say what you put on the fucking script. But there's a reason usually you grab Ryan Reynolds.
He has certain talents, and at the moment it's not well. So I launched into my whole thing because you said I'm not sure who this is aimed for or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I cannot imagine what they're going for at this point is my whole point. Because like
I don't know,
all the kids who like would have had all that nostalgia for Pokemon are at a point where they'd be primed for something like, oh, this is.
There's never been a stop though. Like since I was like Pokemon has held the kids
the original. Well, yeah, but there's
for whatever.
There's new kids every time.
But there will be no incentive necessarily to aim high, because if you've maintained your grasp on children for 15 years,
you want to catch the kids of all ages. Yeah.
Exactly,
and I think Detective
evergreen
Pikachu,
kids are always being born.
I think that Detective Pikachu is like a thing. They're just making a movie about something that already is a thing. It
seems like it was something that just escaped my grasp.
Yes, I again have no idea, and I have no idea what we're about to watch.
I'm super interested though. Let's check it out. So that's interesting.
That is the word I would use. At one point near the end of the trailer, you went,
because it's such a it's such a
Walk me
weird
through.
thing because, well, like,
Yeah.
you're looking around, so the Pokemon, some of them just look creepy, and some of them look like very much like a CG version of what you're kind of accustomed to. But
Like balloons with Pokemon painted onto them.
yeah, there's
It's
a
creepy ass.
really interesting thing. So like they're approaching this, and it doesn't seem super child friendly. It seems like, like I guess it's a family movie. It seems certainly approachable for all. Like I think a
think
child
it's,
would enjoy this, but it might get creeped out. And
Yes.
I think the parents could be like, okay, I remember that. That's a thing, and get through this.
I think it's perfect in that regard. It feels like a kid's movie from like the 80s or 90s that now you go, why was I watching that? Why was I watching Little Monsters?
Yeah.
That's fucking weird, right? It feels like it will have that vibe because it's like, oh, we're going to track down who killed your dad or some shit like that. I'm like, what?
Yes.
Yeah. Like, it's not for 7-year-olds.
The creatures that are furry or hairy have a much better look than the ones that are not.
That are, okay.
There's some weirdness happening with things that have like a
Textures.
yeah. Like because the Pikachu is done really well. Like it looks just out of place enough.
Yes. To be a thing that can't exist and yet is here.
Yeah.
Yes. But not like a Who Framed Roger Rabbit, like a weird,
no.
oh, you added this thing.
But then when you
yes.
get to like the Bulbasaurs and the Charmander, things look kind of weird.
Okay.
Like they're like that's a little once removed. Like we definitely are better at the fur texturing than we are
the
at
duck guy
the
was
skin.
a little strange.
He just looks creepy.
He's just creepy.
But this whole business with the mime, like the mime also, because he's almost too human-like. He's creepy, but I love that like he's just sitting there with his legs crossed on a chair that's not there.
On nothing, yeah.
No, this I would definitely watch this for research purposes at the very least, because I need to unpack what you have here and understand more.
We haven't called out the main thing that I think was the biggest pleasant surprise about the whole thing is he's like, listen, kid, I know you can't understand me. And he's like, no, what? What do you mean? I can understand you.
Yeah,
like,
he seems to be the only one that can actually talk to a Pokemon. Everyone
maybe
else
just
here
that
is Pika
Pokemon,
Pika.
but
yes.
still, like that's great because now he can translate. Is that so? Like, I'm probably missing like a ton of stuff. I feel like there's a ton of fan service in this for people who like Pokemon. There's gonna be little references and jokes.
I would imagine that is correct.
I'm just gonna be fucking lost. I'm gonna have no idea what's happening and like why it's interesting that this Pokemon's doing this or not.
Yeah,
or
but
whatever.
it's filmed like really well,
yes.
and the CG is better than average. I would say.
Yeah.
That's super encouraging because in a thing when you have to spend all this time modeling and making characters, and they have hundreds of different Pokemon to do, there's going to be sequels and more things because that's the hardest part, and they already have that done. The modeling is done. I imagine you can expect all kinds of weird CG-based things.
And it's got that vibe like you're talking about. Like in Monsters, Inc., there are some monsters that just walk by in the background. They kind of look like shit. And that's what's happening here, right? Some Pokemon, they're just like, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, all your hero Pokemon, like the ones that are like, main characters are going to probably be visually stunning and perfect.
Yeah,
the lighting is going to catch them exactly right.
Yeah.
Like this scene in the dark, like the lighting is amazing for this thing that's not there. Looks like it's there. No, I'm impressed. I think that I'm pleasantly surprised by the trailer for this movie. I think Ryan Reynolds seems to be a fine Pikachu.
which is a sentence I didn't think we'd ever say.
Who would dream?
As the human race. No, again, like it feels like an old movie, but a new thing in like a weird way. Because he like wanted to be a trainer, it didn't work out, and it turns out he has this power to understand at least one Pokemon, and then goes on this adventure or whatever. That's like a great storyline or whatever. That's the whole thing. Kids are like, oh yeah.
I wonder how old he is supposed to be, the main character.
Yeah, but it's some alternate world. That's the Pokemon world. And Pikachu's like, I'm a detective. That's what I would have told you if you were like, what's it about before you even see the like trailer. And yet, no, I totally think it works. I think we're in like a thumbs up mode here.
Definitely. All right, that's 2 thumbs up, guys. Let us know in the comments what you thought about it. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.
Hello, internets. I just love watching JustDaggers. If you've enjoyed this video as much as I have, click that subscribe button. Peace out, homies.